I know we're small, but I feel like I'm getting canceled every moment
Nah,
that I read
nah,
this.
you're fine.
Yo, A&K after hours, let's set the vibe. Late night talks, real ones gon' ride. Kick back, unwind, no cap, no lies. Deep dives, throwbacks, culture analyzed. From cartoons to skate decks, movies to games. Breaking it down, no two takes the same. If it's classics or hidden gems in the mix, you know A&K finna put you up on this.
A Venom shirt, in case anyone's wondering. All right, hi.
Welcome.
Welcome. We're going to talk about comics. I think I'm the more comic book nerd, and
Yes.
Khalil's sibling actually is the other comic book nerd.
Yep.
Honestly, we should have had him for this. But I'm excited to talk about it because it's a fun topic nonetheless. We're going old school news desk. We got, prints with questions, topics, you name it. Sorry if the audio's quiet. I'm going to try to fix it in post, but we're together. In the last episode we filmed together, it became so echoey. I don't know if I'm going to release it. I'm going to try, but we'll see. Happy 10th episode, everyone. We've made it. You've made it. This video will put it over. We'll be at 500 hours of watch time. This will also put our channel at 5,000 total views, so that's pretty cool. The whole point of this is actually not growth. The point of this is to communicate since Khalil moved away.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't have much experience in reading comics. When I was a kid, I didn't really know much about them. Only kind of knew about them through passing. There's a store in our area that I've been to, and I saw comics. My first encounter, of course, is television.
Yeah.
Watching, what's the earliest memory that I have? Is probably
Mine's the Batman animated series, hands
Batman
down.
animated series. I'm thinking mine was probably Justice League.
Justice League was on, Cartoon Network, Justice
That's
League.
the one
They
that
also
I remember.
reran the 60s and 70s Scooby-Doos that had Batman and Robin in them multiple times.
Oh,
Those were on a lot
yeah.
when we were growing up.
I remember seeing those actually.
Harlem
And
Globetrotters were like another.
Yep.
Obviously, they're not
Yeah.
superheroes, but there was a lot of cool guests.
Yes. So
That's probably my first too. Would be Cartoon Network.
Yep. In terms of reading, the first thing I read comic wise would honestly be manga. I know it's not the same, but it's similar. It's Japanese comics. I mean, the first thing that I remember reading was actually, I think it was just Pokemon Red.
Oh, you instantly comes up manga when you type in Japanese comic.
So yeah, see? There you
Oh,
go.
I have those too. So they have comic books. I'm so glad you just unlocked a deep memory. I have 4 issues of Japanese Pokemon comics. Like they're printed like comics, not manga.
Yeah.
And then I have a manga of Pokemon Red.
Yep.
Wow, you actually did just unlock a memory. Okay, keep talking.
So I had that. Also, weirdly had Legend of Zelda one. I don't know why. I don't know where that one came from.
Japan.
But, yeah, thank you. I don't know how we found it, but we did. So I had that. I think I even had like randomly a Zatch Bell one.
I had a Zatch Bell manga.
Just the one volume.
No,
of it
I had a
that
Shonen Jump that he was in.
Okay, I had no idea where that came from. Those are my earliest memories. I'm still thinking about like what other hero shows.
I mean, by definition, so
saw
here's the
first.
thing. This is more about comics because I want to talk about comics and have Khalil join in on it. So, but in superhero terms, another early introduction would have been the Power Rangers.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's like hands down, they are a superhero. I don't care. You could try to debate that all you want. They are. So the Power Rangers, Batman animated TV show, Justice League was on when we were kids. I mean, that's the thing is culturally you're introduced to these things.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't know Superman?
Right.
Like, who doesn't know Batman? Who doesn't know these characters? Especially now, colloquial with Marvel's, like, universe.
Yes.
These
yes.
superheroes on Marvel's side of the
Everybody.
fence is known by everyone. Spider-Man, Black Panther. I have a poster of Chadwick Boseman right there doing the Wakanda Forever.
It's true. It's
It's
right
MF
there.
Doom, but Doctor Doom pretty much poster over there.
It's there.
Green Lantern's hung up over there because it's behind the Batman's pop,
See,
which
that
I have a
one-
Batman pop.
See, that one's a lie. Green Lantern's not there. Don't see it.
No,
I just remembered another hero that introduced me as a kid.
Static Shock. I knew that we were going there
Static
before they said
Shock,
it because I was
all
ready
right?
to say that next.
Listen, every Saturday, WKSB, Batman Beyond, Static Shock. I think Justice League was on there.
It was. That's what it was because Warner Brothers owns DC.
Yeah.
So it wasn't Cartoon Network until later. It was on WB Kids, and then the other name they went under was 4Kids TV.
Yep.
Heroes.
Oh my! Because that's when I think when it became 4Kids, that's when it
That's
became
when it-
more
yeah.
anime, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's super cool. I mean, I think, yeah. How do you just like not know of Batman and Superman growing up? Like, Also, the Ninja Turtles, because I loved the Ninja Turtles. Their comic was a comic all black and white. And do you know the only color that existed?
No.
The only color in the ever original run of Ninja Turtle comics was red. So they're a
what's
comic.
the initial release of? Like, how old? How far back does?
I want to say it's like 79 or 84. Don't ask me why those are the two numbers, but I'm gonna look it up because I do think it is one of those. I weirdly closed the tab I was using.
Don't do that. I do remember watching Ninja Turtles growing up, so that's how I was introduced to them.
84.
84.
I said. Oh wait.
You said 79.
I said 79 or 84, and I said I wonder why those are the two numbers in my head. So yeah, and then I'll show Khalil. I'll put it on the screen. The original comic was the cover, and then everything about it was black and white.
Wild. Okay, interesting.
They look cool as hell.
Color classics.
Like I really like the way they look in that. So yeah, I think that's how I got introduced. When we were growing up was the release of the best Batman movies, not the best like films. Those would be the Dark Knight and those series, but the best ones like the one with the Riddler, Jim Carrey as the Riddler, the one with like Arnold as Mr. Freeze. Clooney was a Batman in one of those like
that. Yeah, no, you showed me the one with the Riddler.
Yep, we watched that together. And then Two-Face in that, which is the guy that plays Two-Face is a mega famous actor too.
That was the first time I had seen that. That's crazy.
It's so good. Yeah, I think that's how we got introduced. I don't think there's any other, like, I know the first ever comic that I read was a Batman comic because I bought it at it wasn't a Value World, but it was pretty much a Value World. It was like a local version of it. I remember buying the comic, had no clue what it was. I have two comics I bought that day, a Batman one and a Captain America one. The Captain America one was a collaboration piece that Marvel did with the NFL. So it's like the NFL players and Captain America.
That's awesome.
The Batman comic I bought, and I didn't, obviously we're in a location, so I didn't bring any of my stuff. I would have brought tubs and tubs and tubs, and it's not worth the back injury.
He has tubs
and
tubs.
The original Batman comic I ever purchased was Batman, and I'll put an image of this up, versus the Ku Klux Klan. It's a real comic.
That's amazing.
And so that's the first ever comic I owned, bought, and read. And it's really funny because, yeah, then what ended up happening is my mom's older brother, he had collected comics in his late teens. Yeah, I have this.
Oh, wait, you've shown this to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1989.
That's crazy.
And then third comic I actually, roll back on all of that. That's not the first comic I ever owned. The first comic I ever owned is a really, really cool piece of history that I really wish, I still own it, but I really wish I bought it. And it's funny because I didn't like this hero until I was an adult. I didn't appreciate him until now. There was a comic released it was a Daredevil comic, and it's super old. I don't even know if it's an official comic, more as like, I'm going to buy a second one. Daredevil #1. Vapora Fire Safety giveaway book. So in 1996, the year I was born, my mom must have gotten this from the hospital that I was born at or something. No, I'm not even joking. Like this was a safety PSA comic to teach kids what to do, how not to play with gasoline, not to play with matches or lighters, and what to do if you did. The villain is a gasoline vapor. This is the first comic I ever owned. Then there was the Batman and Captain America one. You know how many times I read this? My copy is torn to shreds. I read it so much growing up. I can't believe how I didn't think of that instantly. I'm so glad I did though, because I purposely as a teenager realized how awesome this was, so I put it away to never be touched again. It's like deep in storage. That's sick. So this was my first ever comic that I owned and read. Growing up, my favorite superheroes, I have a kind of a list. Growing up, it was Batman #1 with a bullet, Spider-Man, and then the Green Lantern. And then I liked the Flash, but I never bought anything Flash, whether t-shirts, comics, movies, you name it. I don't know why. Just never, but I really liked him anytime he was in something like the Justice League or something. Because he was quippy. He's the Spider-Man. He's the quippy guy. And so Spider-Man was my Marvel, Batman was my DC, Green Lantern I still have a huge place in my heart for. I just love the Green Lantern. I have no idea why. He kicked butt in the Justice League. That's my favorite iteration of him.
Get into the Justice League now 5 times a week. Tonight at 10, only on Cartoon Network.
At the comic shop, I might buy the Green Lantern series. Just started over. They're at like issue 2.
See, I actually remember not seeing a whole lot of Marvel. It was mostly DC.
DC was because they had Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. Forever, DC had the two more iconic characters of Batman and Superman. Spider-Man was Marvel's iconic character, but then Marvel got the X-Men. And that's when in comic, not in like...
I definitely remember X-Men.
Remember the movies growing up, how many there were?
Yeah.
But that was the thing is comic book stream. Like,
It was.
in the consciousness of guys that would go to shops and buy comics, X-Men was the biggest thing ever. And it stayed that way forever. I have some vintage X-Men comics that are just so cool, dude. So it's like really fun to see how that works. Because like you ask anyone in mainstream, they're going to know Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, even Aquaman. DC's movies that are live action suck.
Yeah.
Lego Batman, one of the best Batman
Yeah.
movies there is.
Love it.
Dude, Marvel kicks butt in real life movies, but if you watch a Teen Titans movie, a Batman movie that's animated, I've cried so many times during DC animated movies. They're just so much better. Marvel can't hold a flame to them.
There was one that I watched. I think it was Batman vs. Red Hood.
Yeah,
This is a
Under the
newer
Red
one.
Hood, Jason Todd, yeah.
That one was really good. Really well animated. Had a great
My parents are dead.
story. If I had to rank my first favorite superhero and why, I mean, as a kid, considering I didn't have full exposure, I would have had to go with Static Shock, Batman.
Static Shock's DC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Like I really only
Because we had WB kids. Like,
Yep.
that's where I'm influenced for sure by that. So
And then-
go ahead.
I was gonna say my third would probably be Green Lantern.
Yeah, he's just cool.
Yeah.
Even like every iteration of him is just cool. Now that I'm an adult, my answer is completely different. Batman's number one with a bullet always. I don't think they'll ever change.
I love Batman. I
like
mean,
it's just
I'd love his martial arts. Quite.
that's
what I'm saying.
Oh, it's just
like,
there's something to connect with everyone in Batman. Because he is. That's the point. Other than being super rich, you can connect with him on so many levels usually. I will say, now that I'm adult, it's a very different list. It would be in no specific order other than Batman being one. It would be like Batman, Venom, which is an anti-hero,
Yep.
Daredevil, Green Lantern. Those are probably like my top 5 if I said 5. After that, it would be like, that's of like superheroes. Comics, it would still include things like Ninja Turtles. Spawn.
Spawn.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Now, I mean, like I really like Green Arrow. I think he's really cool. I think the archery is awesome. One thing I did appreciate is like overlapping villains.
The Riddler.
What the heck's he trying to tell us?
I don't know. Let's go up and ask him.
So yeah, I really like Green Lantern. Static Shock is still there for me. Batman's still there for me. Daredevil. Love Daredevil.
He's just so cool.
He's so
Because he,
cool.
like, I didn't register as a kid that he's just actually a normal human.
Yeah.
Like, everything about him, and he's a lawyer who cares. Like, everything about Daredevil is just sick, dude. Oh my god. And then
Yeah.
last night, to prep for this, I watched, I grew up owning this DVD, and I lost it, so I rebought it recently, which is Spider-Man vs. Daredevil. I didn't realize it's not a movie. It's the Spider-Man TV show we grew up with.
Okay.
The one where, like, the main villain was Kingpin, which is Daredevil's main villain, and then, like, Peter Parker, it's still when he's with Mary Jane. You would recognize it if I showed you.
This is bringing back some memories. This
So,
is bringing back
it was from
memories,
this
for
one.
Sure.
The movie is 5 episodes put together. That's all it is. Because Daredevil was a guest superhero for 5 episodes about taking down
okay.
Kingpin, because that's, like, his actual main villain.
Okay, I see.
And so it was really cool. And the whole comic books do this a lot. Clickbait titles are real in comic books. I won't cover this too much. I'll just say go watch Hugbee's video on clickbaits. It's called Superman's a Super Dick. The whole video is about clickbait titles in comic books that started as early as the 70s. And they've done things like that a lot in comics. They still do. So that movie, Spider-Man vs. Daredevil, they fight once.
Spider-Man
and it's when they don't
Daredevil?
know each other yet.
Okay.
And they fight for maybe a minute. So it's not even
Was
like a
there-
good fight.
And they're both New York based heroes, right?
Yeah,
Or-
so Marvel has a lot of New York-based heroes. Iron Fist,
Yeah.
Luke Cage, Daredevil, Spider-Man. There's definitely one more that I'm missing. Moon Knight is
Moon Knight.
sometimes in New York. I love Moon Knight. I'm surprised. Okay, hold on.
I do know a Moon Knight.
I love
and I know
Spawn,
Moon Knight's
but
pretty cool.
Moon Knight would actually one-up Spawn, which is crazy to say, but I actually freaking love Moon Knight. Holy God.
I need to
When did you realize that superheroes were more than just kid stuff? Because, like, think about it. I showed you a Daredevil comic that was teaching kids not to play with fire. Comics are definitely geared towards kids and most of the time, but around, I want to say the 80s is when comics got edgy.
Okay.
And there was even this thing in the 80s, like a big push to be how dark and how edgy can you get in a comic. So I wasn't alive for that. So I think for me, when I realized comics weren't for kids, was watching The Dark Knight. Because that's even the other Batman movies, they have a little bit more adult themes like sex and drugs and drinking, but it's so campy.
Right.
That it's like still fun and giggly, and like your parents would definitely let you watch it once you hit like 12 with their guidance type movie. But The Dark Knight is dark.
Was dark.
And it's really good. So I think that series, because the Scarecrow movie is the one before that. So I think around those movies is when I was like, oh snap. Because I knew adults liked comics, but then I always thought they were like maybe like, immature, or the stereotype of plays magic in his mom's basement type guy. But that's not the case.
I guess I never really thought about comics being like kid stuff. There's an association there, because a lot
that's how they learned morals a long time ago.
Right. Exactly. Like a lot of the adults that read comics grew up reading comics, right? And it just became a passion. And so I would assume that from the inception of comic books, that it would had to have evolved to keep that.
Yeah, because I definitely feel like they were written for children originally.
Right.
Like nobody was going to read about a guy in spandex flying through. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That definitely was like a kid thing.
But I know, and this goes just.
Oh,
dive
I actually
into
own
a little bit of politics.
You talk, because I can't wait to share what I'm going to.
Because so I there was a thing that happened some years ago.
9/11?
Yeah, that happened.
I actually thought that might be where you were going.
No,
I wasn't making a joke.
It was about 5 years ago, maybe 6. There was actually a Superman. I guess it's not volume, but like a comic
Issue.
Issue. That's what it is. There was a Superman issue that came out in which he protected a train of migrants in America.
Oh yeah, that's on our list to talk about social issues.
But that really got me thinking again about comics and how there are a lot of social issues, and that's more for adults.
I was a kid so I have an answer that I didn't realize it, but I should have. I own the original release. I own the original release of when the Joker beat Jason Todd to death.
Oh, okay.
He died. That's Red
died.
Hood.
Yeah.
Jason Todd is Red Hood, because he actually didn't die, but everyone thought he did. Joker thought he died in the explosion when after he beat him to death with a crowbar. I read that as a kid, and it used to traumatize me when I reread it as a kid, but I didn't even think about how that was definitely not for kids. That one was meant for the adult fans to read.
Well, two things. One, that Batman movie, the animated one I
Red Hood's
earlier.
dark.
Yeah, that was in there. So I do know about that.
Well, in the Killing Joke, he paralyzes and then sexually assaults Batgirl. Barbara Gordon gets shot in this. I forgot about that scene, and I was showing Holly that movie. It was scarred for months, and I felt so, because that's as dark as it gets. Superheroes do. That's the whole point of the show, The Boys. If you watched The Boys,
I've watched.
That's the point of that show, is to show what life would actually be like.
Yes,
and I appreciate that, but it is too much for me.
It's
Amazon's The Tick is really good though.
But I was also going to say, my second point was you owned an issue of Batman versus the KKK.
Yeah.
That is not a children's tale.
No. So it is really cool to see. Aquaman sucks. Not the character. He does, but he doesn't. I like Aquaman as a character. He's a super campy hero. I love. Khalil and I will admit, I have come off this high horse significantly, but we have agreed our whole lives Superman sucks.
Yes.
I have come off that high horse more as an adult, because when I look back and read his older stuff, I like him.
Okay.
The Superman when we were growing up, I can't stand him. But yeah, he's overrated. But other than all the superheroes are overpowered. That's the thing. That used to be my main argument. Then my other main argument was, how are you so overpowered but your home planet kills you? Kryptonite is what hurts you.
I hate that.
That's what I don't like.
It's so annoying.
So I've come off that high horse, but this is why I'm talking about, though, is the Aquaman movies did not do well at the box office, but Jason Momoa was a great pick for him, I think, truly.
I can agree with that.
Batman movies have never failed. Even the one with Robert Pattinson, people liked. They're making the other one right now.
I haven't seen that one. I kind of refuse to see that one.
Oh,
I don't like him as an actor.
My
I'm sorry.
favorite Spider-Man is hands down the Tobey Maguire series.
Oh, yeah, of
After
course.
that, the Andrew Garfield one's the last in that order, and then Tom Holland will be second in that.
Tom Holland does a really good job.
He does. He really does.
I'm not gonna lie.
But I'm never gonna not pick Tobey.
Yeah.
So, Marvel DC debate. I don't think anyone, like we already said it. There's not a debate. Marvel wins live action movies. DC would win
Although
animated.
Spider-Man is still technically Sony.
But yeah, so I think that covers that. But the idea of like impact on, so the next thing in the bullet point list would be talking, it literally verbatim says the impact of superhero films on comic popularity. You definitely see a rise in terms of people who want to read comics, but does people wanting to read them equate to people going to a local comic shop and buying them? Not
No,
most of the time.
no.
Also, comic book services like DC, Marvel, maybe Iron Horse, have digital platforms now. I'm subscribed to both DC and Marvel. $5 a month, I can read everything except for the newest release. They're like, if you want to read the newest one, go buy it. It'll be up here in months. Otherwise, you can read everything back catalog. So I don't need to go on eBay to buy
it.
Because I'm reading the original Daredevil right now. You know how expensive that would be?
So expensive.
So it's like that. So does it relate to comic popularity? Yes, if they go out of their way to do it, but most people don't. They sell more T-shirts. They sell more like video games. Oh yeah, like the Miles Morales Spider-Man games in general, except Suicide Squad game that flopped. But like. It does, but it doesn't. It increases superheroes' popularity. I don't think it increases comic popularity.
And I also don't think it hurts.
I don't think it hurts. That's the other thing, yeah. It definitely doesn't hurt it. You're going to have comic book fans always. Like,
yep.
I literally buy things physical when I like them. I do. If you've listened to our thing before, if I like media, I buy it. Like
I have started doing that. Just kind of off topic. I love Demon Slayer. I've been collecting Demon Slayer volumes, so I'm up that alley now.
Yeah,
I want to own things.
Oh yeah. It's just something tangible about holding it, feeling it. The newspaper in the palm of my hand. Anyway, but so I don't think it hurts it, but I think it doesn't. I think I like the way I worded it. It doesn't grow the popularity of comics, but it does grow the popularity of heroes, merchandising, video games.
Yep.
But I don't know if the physical comic book. I don't think people realize, unless they're comic book fans, if you go to DC's website and you try to buy a comic, you can't. You click a button, it says comic book shop finder. They're like, no, you're not going through us. We want this industry to stay alive.
That's good.
I remember growing up, you could actually buy. I bought a few comics off of Marvel's website when we were teenagers. Now you can't do that. They want the print to stay. I mean, yeah, they're artists. They're
right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
So,
hey there, Spidey fans. These guys look like they're up to no good. Well, luckily Spidey's on the scene to make them realize the error of their ways. But watch out, Webhead. This time you may be in over your head.
Now I'm gonna have Khalil read some comics. We're gonna go into our goofball section about random, weird, funny things about comics. There was a comic book series called The New Guardians at one point. Don't you pre-read?
I'm not pre-reading. I'm just looking at some of these
and
panels.
There was The New Guardians are supposed to represent culture. There is a black woman from Jamaica.
Okay.
There's a white red-haired woman.
Okay.
That's an alien.
I see her.
There's a gay guy. That's a fake Doctor Strange. There's a fake cyborg that's from Japan, so it's just a Japanese cyborg.
All right.
There's a plant monster thing. I don't know. There's a lot of racism going on. It's unbelievable. But the racism isn't the craziest part. Because,
all right, so...
it's... The New Guardians, if you haven't checked it out, you need to check it out. It was a flop. It was a flop. It crashed and burned. The only good thing to come out of it is the only supervillain to be powered by cocaine.
Oh, this is what you mentioned earlier.
So we'll talk about that in a minute. These are them. This is comic book 1 for them, by the way.
Okay.
The backstory is on the first page where it's like they were created by some all-powerful being to be the new protectors of Earth. They were brought together, and I kid you not, in the background story, it mentions that this super being, this omnipotent being, brought them together to save Earth and breed. Because they want super babies to replace regular humans as like the long-term fix to everything.
Don't want to hear it.
So this is fun because You're going to read starting with this one.
All right, here we go. Basically, my darling ones, we're here to pass along our new DNA.
No, you're not even close.
Or to put it on a more practical level, to have kitties.
This is a gay guy, by the way. They haven't revealed that yet, but I know. This guy's gay. Oh, Khalil, the gay guy gets HIV.
I'm sorry, when was this made?
80. Keep reading.
Or you are, I'm certainly not. I don't know what I'm here for. But you're here to breed. Maybe, or maybe the amply named Ram gets his choice of the ladies.
Ram is the Japanese cyborg. Ram being like gigabyte ramage stuff. And then this is the Jamaican lady, if you want to say in a Jamaican accent.
Like hell, man. I gotta... Sorry, what? I got a lot to say about that.
The next page is 10,000 times more wild.
Okay.
These 3 panels are so funny. So this is there's 3 women, the Jamaican woman, a blonde-haired woman, and then the red-haired woman that's the alien. So now it's the gay Doctor Strange talking to the blonde-haired woman, and I'll tell you the next character change. The first panel is gay Doctor Strange, blonde-haired woman that's like a Captain America ripoff. She's supposed to... Anyway, read.
What about you, Lila? Or may I call you Lily? Lila's so formal. Lily would be very nice, but I don't know the answer to your other question. I want to do what real Earth women do, and that includes falling in love and everything.
Okay, so she's the alien one, actually. Now, the next panel is the red-haired woman, which is like a poison ivy. She controls nature. And Ram, the Japanese cyborg.
The dragon in me is not. I have the power of the fruitful earth flowing through me every moment. What is power for, if not to maximize life?
That was the woman. Now, here's the cyborg's response. Again, a cyborg.
I can think of many things, Xiang. One of them is sex, and I've had my share of experience at it.
And now here's Ram going on to a monologue.
But even though I'm half computer now, or perhaps because of it, perhaps because we Japanese have the tradition of pillow girls, or perhaps because I'm older than you. Oh my God.
You're not done.
I feel...
Yep, that's the point of me doing this.
I know we're small, but I feel like I'm getting canceled every moment that I read
Nah,
this.
you're fine. Yep. And now we're going to jump forward a little, because here they are being racist. I kid you not, this whole thing's just them being racist and them being like, wait, I have genitals. We're now at the supervillains lab. Khalil's going to read 3 panels of this, and then we're going to jump to the craziest couple panels and end this segment.
You've achieved results, Dr. Van Court. Our facility has Minister Croft. Croft? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Piet Brome. Here is the man in charge of the specific project. Piet Brome? I know the name. Oh, yes. And why do you give up boxing?
Now project for these next few boxes, please.
Gold medal as a heavyweight Montreal Olympic, sir. Respect for my brain, sir, and too much close contact with sweaty... Oh,
Say
no!
it. No, say it. Read the full thing again, please.
Brother.
No, I need you to read it. I'm not reading that out loud.
All right.
Please read that bubble again.
I'm going to read the last bubble too again. Gold medal as a heavyweight Montreal Olympic, sir. Respect for my brains, sir. And too much close contact with sweaty blacks. This is in the freaking panel. Okay.
Look at the slur they use. We're not reading that one. There's a slur.
That's old school slur. What?
Yeah, no, it is. And then read these 2, please. So they build a vampire, and they put it against a black guy, like a regular black citizen, because they're racist. They want to see this black guy die at the hands of their vampire. That's what's happening in this panel.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
His name is Hemo, the vampire villain. Hemo Goblin. Hemo Goblin these nuts.
Well, yeah, no, they're literally throwing a black guy into
a lab.
Yes.
No, it's effed up. This is the old man, like pretty much their kingpin, a rich mobster, old white dude, balding. talking to the Hemogoblin these nuts.
All right. My friend, we are at war for nothing less than the fate of the world. Through endless hardships, we have carved out the perfect society, but the world that doesn't share it doesn't understand it.
Yes.
They're too blinded by leftist brotherhood to realize that once the white race is swept into the multitude, the quality of life for everyone goes down the drain. Oh my God, what was this comic?
Don't forget, there's so much more racism.
What was this comic?
This is the first 9 pages that we just brought to you. They're not even halfway through this comic.
Oh my God.
So that's this comic. A few issues later, I think it's in issue 4 for this series. Oh, so what I'm not letting Khalil read is they purposely inject the Hemogoblin with AIDS, and he tries to slit the throat of the gay guy, and the gay guy contracts AIDS.
Oh my God.
And the doctor tells him, like, hey, it should be fine as long as you're not trying to, like, breed with anyone. I kid you not, that's a line. And their whole purpose is to breed. He's also gay, so he's not, you know what I mean? Oh, it's this one, episode 2, comic 2. So the cover shows the New Guardians in a snowstorm next to dead soldiers. Khalil, that's not snow, that's cocaine.
So it is snow.
Yeah. This is Snowflame. This is the only supervillain in the world. Read. So they're like, hey, we're going to stop you. He says, challenge accepted, punches Ram. And now read that.
I am Snowflame. Every cell of my being burns with white hot ecstasy. Cocaine is my god, and I am the human instrument of its will.
He gets stronger every line he does. So he does I kid you not. Look at his face. He's geeked out, bro.
Oh my god.
So Snowflame is only in the New Guardians, and then the most iconic image of him ever is when this happens. This is blurry, but the full print of it's gorgeous. He comes back again in a Catwoman comic. The New Guardians is unhinged.
Yes.
So now that I had Khalil read some of that.
Next, it's Supercharged Static to the rescue on Static Shock. Then, behold the power of the cards on Yu-Gi-Oh! Followed by Cubics on Kids WB.
I'm going to have Khalil click on these tabs I have pulled up, and we're going to look at the worst comic book artist of all time that got paid millions of dollars. That's supposed to be Captain America and a woman.
Is it zoomed in? Or
No.
What? And who?
A woman and Nick Cage.
Not Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. I was going to say Nick Fury.
This
look at his
Captain
face.
America. What?
Look at his biceps.
Yeah. What?
If you know what I'm showing him, you know who I'm talking about. Click on the next tab. Those are human faces. One of them's Wolverine.
They're human faces. Wait, what?
Those are just skeletons with skin. Those are.
Yeah. They're
disgusting.
They are.
Go to the next tab. This gets crazier.
They were trying to do like a chiseled jaw or something.
No, that's just how he draws. That's a woman. I don't know if you know, but proportions apparently don't matter.
That's not a person. That's like a.
Their back is. I can't even make the curvature. It's more than an
like
S.
This curve of my hand.
Yeah,
like,
it's nuts.
So bad. That's like back problems.
No, that means she doesn't have a spine. It's gelatinous.
Y'all would not believe.
Look at his legs.
It looks swollen.
Yeah.
And is that Deadpool?
Yeah, Deadpool is a ripoff of one of my favorite people, Deathstroke. It's known. It's like that's the least hitting comic book joke of all time.
I honestly am looking at this and the thigh.
It gives you a stroke.
The thigh looks bigger on this one. The calves look about the same, but the thigh looks, it's unproportioned.
Don't worry. The very last image is the worst, but you got one more before that.
Okay, that was just terribly proportioned.
This is Iron Man and Captain America fighting. Look at their faces. First of all, apparently Iron Man's suit is spandex. Because.
Are you going to show this image?
Yeah.
Okay, because his face is hilarious.
His biceps bigger than his chest.
This looks like a meme. That's what this looks like. His face looks like a meme.
His hands are so big he's not even gripping his other arm. And how is Iron Man's hands both around his bicep?
One bicep.
Look at their faces. You see every wrinkle.
Yeah, you see every wrinkle, but his kind of looks like a.
I'm stealing this image from a different comic book creator, Hugby. That's actually where I got the Guardians. I didn't know about that. I learned about that from a comic book creator I watch. So this whole bit right here until we move on is all stuff I'm borrowing. I have no fear in admitting that.
All right.
But Khalil's never seen this, so it's not really like
No.
we're not even stealing this guy's content. I forgot these images exist, except for the next one. The next one is the most infamous comic book picture of all time, and you know where I'm going if you know comics.
This image, the Iron Man, he looks like
An alien. It looks like if
he looks
Martian
like a-
Manhunter was fat and took over
he
Iron
does.
Man.
But I was also gonna say it looks like a bonobo meets like.
There's no nose.
There's no nose. It looks like. It honestly looks like an ape that smelled something.
Yeah. I
It's
agree.
just- it is the funniest thing.
The next image is what I need you to see.
Okay.
This is the
Let's
most
go.
infamous comic book image of all time. Imagine your chest as a man, your pecs, protrude further than your chin.
This is a chest burster that was not able to escape.
One pec is much larger than the other because you can see it. This is Rob Liefeld, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Who saw his work and were like, yes.
Millions of dollars.
That's crazy.
He is still popular, and so people when they see him at conventions are actually really excited to talk to him, and he's fully aware of the meme of how
Okay.
bad of a he used to not be. This is his real art.
Right.
Now it's a meme. He drew all of those.
Was he experimenting?
He was Snowflame IRL.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nuts. The world of comic books is so funny, and the New Guardians kind of bleeds into the whole. Comics have always been cultural. They've introduced gay comics, people of different races, backgrounds, social justice issues, Batman versus the KKK, people
Right.
on drugs, people doing recovery. Comics are a great avenue. I think all media, when we talk about sitcoms, we talked about how a lot of people learn their morals through sitcoms and how to treat people. And comics is no different. Comics, I think, is even a better avenue because it is the ideal person. Captain America, Superman, being the goody boys they are, teach these people how to react to new things. Now, the Hemo Goblin, these nuts having HIV and cutting gay Doctor Strange's throat, probably not the best way to deal with it. The New Guardians was the biggest bomb I've ever seen about inclusion. It's just straight up racist.
Yeah.
And homophobic. And it's but other comics have done really good at these types of things. And I think it is an important avenue for social conscious, social awareness, social change. I mean, dude, that's the whole point of certain comic books. I mean, the Black Panther is named the Black Panther.
Right.
I mean,
Is there?
so
Is there?
it's things like that. It definitely is. We could probably have a whole episode about just that topic. So I don't really want to dive into it so much as more. I just want to point out that I hate the boom that existed in the past. Gamergate is what started it. And for those internet junkies like me that know what the hell that term means, I'm sorry.
I always have to explain that when I say
I don't even want to break it down for the people that don't know. Just know Gamergate was awful. It split the internet and created the modern day Reddit nice guy, the neckbeards, the 4chan users. Gamergate
And-
accelerated this to a level that's unknown to man.
And unfortunately, we're going through
We're going it again.
2.0 right
and
now.
it's the whole thing is, people of color and women shouldn't be in video games or comics.
Yep.
That's Gamergate, but years of debate online on different platforms and media outlets. It's bad. But I do think social commentary in comics is important. The social issues, social justice. I mean, Matt Murdock's a lawyer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's a pro bono lawyer.
I shouldn't have. Just hearing that made me laugh. So it is really cool to see the way they incorporate social issues, race, gender, sexuality into these comics in different ways. I definitely do think it is important. And I also think that, the Gamergate 4chan Redditors can just suck it up and deal with it.
Or just don't consume it.
Don't consume it.
It's that
Don't spend
easy.
your energy on it.
Exactly.
I get mad and spend energy on stupid things too, but it's usually not around that. It's usually around something I did or something.
The big problem with them is that they feel like they have to.
They
be
feel
heard.
it's they feel like a minority. It's no, you're not. You're actually
not.
still the majority. Just most people are the silent majority.
They just it's again, it's especially with the internet, everyone feels like they have to be heard.
It's
You
so
don't.
dumb. I mean,
you don't have to be
we're
heard.
doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it.
It's just human nature to want to feel seen, heard, or agreed with. But the difference being is pick and choose.
Also, there is such a thing as a bad opinion.
Yeah, I have them all the time.
Me too. And I don't think people realize that. Not
No.
all opinions are valid.
No, and so it's also I think one of my favorite sentences of life is facts don't care about your feelings.
They don't. However, a lot of people who say that clearly are going based off of feelings.
That is true, but I use it a lot when talking about like people don't agree with something that happened in a social context or
there you
historical context. I'm like, facts don't care about your feelings.
It's like, this
Yeah,
happened.
that was wrong. It doesn't matter how you feel emotionally about it. It happened.
Yep.
And so it's like things like that. And so it is really interesting. We're going to end it on a positive note, though. If you could have one power in real life, the host. Let's interrupt. I mentioned this on a podcast once before, but if you have a friend who, as anywhere from the ages of 13 to adult, says they want the power to freeze time,
Oh, I haven't even thought of. Okay,
they don't
I know
want
where
it to
you're-
rob a bank.
I know where you're going with that. Okay.
They don't want it to rob a bank. Defriend that person. They want it for the worst thing you can think of.
Yep.
So the questions are: what power would you have in real life? Try to choose one, but it's some kind of mix together. If you could live in any comic universe, which one would it be? So like not like DC Marvel, but like if you got interjected into someone's comic, who do you think you'd want to live in? Which superhero would make the worst roommate? We've asked the roommate questions. If you can't tell, I like those.
Yeah.
And that's the ones we'll answer. So I think flying is too easy. Like super speed and flying are almost a little too easy. And also nobody ever wants to read minds. You think you do until you have that, because can you control it? You don't know.
True.
Yeah, also you shouldn't know what others think. Sometimes
No.
it should be personal.
That's privacy.
Oh, invisibility, teenage answer is also the worst thing you can think of.
Yep.
Time travel's whack because you would change events. Super strength sucks because, like, you know. But super strength might weirdly be the better option because you'll never have to worry about moving furniture again.
On the flip side, you'd have a lot of people asking you to help move furniture.
You would have to hide it. You would have to hide your power. I think. Oh wow, that is actually tough.
So actually, mine, and
Anamorphic.
no, that'd be fun, but no. So mine would actually be the ability to like nullify someone else's powers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like a cipher. I think mine would probably have to do with like altering physical objects. Like not maybe telekinesis is right. Like I think I would want to just move things without having to move them. So I think I would go with so I could like just clean my room without because I would still use my hands and stuff. But you could be like while you're doing something, once you're under control of it, you'd be like, all right, you're thinking about this book being moved over here, and it's doing it behind you while you're doing something else.
True.
So I think telekinesis would be my answer. Flying would be secondary. Super speed's too risky because you'd run into somebody.
The Boys.
That actually happens in The Boys.
That happens.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I would want to live in. So here's the thing: you don't want to live in like the ones that are always being messed up.
I would not want to be in Batman.
No, Gotham is not cool,
No.
man. Like I would not
I'm
want to live in
good.
Gotham. Like so, you almost have to instantly go with somebody that lives in New York. Like
Yeah.
it would have to be like I don't want to live in Daredevil's because he lives in Hell's Kitchen, the fictional part of New York he lives in.
Yeah.
So like Spider-Man's the easiest answer because like there's a chance you'll never see him.
That's
You'll know
true.
who he is, but there's a chance you will never see him. You could say like Aquaman, and then that means you probably just live on a coastal area. Gosh, I think the easy answer would be saying Spider-Man, just because you get to live in a real place like New York.
Right.
There's like the villains in Spider-Man, only some of them are like world enders. Most of the time it's like they can only affect certain areas at a time. So I think Spider-Man's like the easy pick.
I'm trying to, where does Static Shock?
He just lives in a city. It
Yeah,
might be
yeah,
New York.
I would pick Static Shock because like that is, from what I remember, like that was like the least amount of commotion.
Well, yeah, that
was
one's
going
that
on.
TV show is specifically made for younger audiences around a character that they made.
Right.
So that's a good one too. So I think Peter Parker's Spider-Man would probably be the best answer because you get to live in New York and you might never see him, which means you didn't see a villain. The worst roommate would have to be Deadpool, but that's too easy because he's like an anti-hero. Beast Boy.
Beast Boy.
Like, yeah, Teen
'Cause
Titans
he's-
makes him look awesome, but he would be it would smell terrible to be hair everywhere,
Yeah.
food everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'll have to agree with that one.
I think he just hands down is the worst roommate. Like, he's an awesome one in the Teen Titans, but like in the Teen Titans, they have episodes about him being messy.
Yep.
So it's like
all the time.
I think he would just be the worst roommate.
I think he had the messiest room.
No, he
in
did.
that,
Him
yeah.
and Cyborg both. But Cyborg also was like because he was constantly building or tinkering with stuff.
Right.
Um,
Beast Boy is just a slob.
he
From
is.
what I
It's
remember.
so
Yeah, he's
funny.
just a slob.
Yeah. So I guess that's our discussion on comic books. We didn't touch on like villains and stuff. I mean, do you
Right.
have a favorite villain?
Do I have a favorite villain?
Like mine's
Oh.
Deathstroke's not a villain. He's an anti-hero. He's a mercenary for hire who just happens to hate certain heroes, so he messes with them more. So I don't think he would be a villain, I would say. Same with Venom. He only hates Spider-Man.
Right.
He doesn't actually hate. He actually wants to help. He hates killing. Carnage doesn't.
That's a good question.
Doom is like the perfect villain because he's not like his powers are so not effective. It's like his intelligence. He's almost like Batman intelligence level. God,
I don't actually know. I don't know if I have a favorite. I do. I just can't think of
I think the Silver Surfer, but he's a harem, so he's not purposely evil. So maybe not. That's not a good answer. You talk. What were you saying?
I do. I just can't think of my favorite villain. I guess one that I do like is Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is. And Talia.
Yeah.
They're both kind of cool. Yeah, it's hard because like, there was a topic we didn't talk about, which would have went with the movie's popularity. How come all the biggest like guys on Facebook that post Joker memes and Joker quote, they don't read comics,
No, they've only watched the movies.
and then they just like the Joker.
Yep.
And anyway, they stole my fandom of the Joker. I liked the Joker because he is Batman and him are the same being on a different spectrum. That's the whole point.
I was gonna say they don't realize the point.
Yeah, and that's what the Killing Joke is about. At the very end scene, Batman, I'm not going to spoil it in case people actually want to read or watch it. So, like, oh my God, the Killing Joke other than the Barbara Gordon stuff is so good. That part just makes you're gone mentally when that happens. Dr. Eggman's funny from Sonic. Dr. Roboto. He might be one of my. I think it would be. Oh gosh, I think there's somebody in.
Are we doing villains for anything, or are we doing comic book
Well,
villains?
Sonic is a comic.
Okay. Because, I mean, like, Dragon Ball Z.
It's a manga, so I guess it technically is a comic.
I love Cell.
Oh, who doesn't love Cell?
Oh, my God.
I love
love
Frieza,
Cell.
Cell, and Boo.
Yeah.
And Vegeta.
Yeah, and Vegeta.
Like, their villains are just great. There's somebody like Mr. Freeze where he's evil because he's trying to save his wife. So you can't
also
hate
that.
him as much as, like, you should. Yeah, wow. I guess my favorite would be, in these regards, I like Two-Face from Batman. I think the whole split, the dichotomy of man
Personality,
is
yeah.
like really cool. Being, Harvey Dent at one point and then being Two-Face. I think it might be Harvey Dent, just because of the duality of man. And yeah, I actually think. I don't know if I can think of anyone right now that would top that. I think Two-Face is like probably really high on that list. So that's mine.
All right. I'm gonna favorite. I can't think of a favorite. Just I really like Ra's al Ghul. I'm gonna go with that answer.
Both Batman. That's crazy how it works. We admitted Batman was our favorites. So,
did.
all right, tune in next time, Webheads.
All right.
R.I.P. Stan Lee.
Yes.
He was abused in his elderly years. Leave your favorite superheroes in the comment section below. This was fun. We talked so much. This is the longest episode.
Yeah. This was a good one. I really, really enjoyed talking about this one.
It's the 10th special, so hopefully
There you go.
that goes good. Thanks for coming. See you next time.
All right. Gone.
If I can only get unstuck, I'll be swinging at one of my most fearsome foes next week.